someone can kill his own children because the mom is a Tutsi. Asking me always the same question: how comes people went up to become like an animals? I think that we lost humanity at that period.
We meet Didas Kayinamura in a house he's renting. He insists that we come in quickly rather than linger outside. And speaking through an interpreter, he tells us the story of when he decided to participate in the violence in Rwanda. He tells me he was coerced by a killing group. They threatened his life. They took him to a man, a Tutsi man.
And they gave me a stick, a very strong stick, and they said, you have to kill him with this stick. I tried to kill him twice, but I was not able to kill him. And someone came, took the stick from me, and killed him. So this is the first day I went in the genocide.
He says despite pressure, he never participated in the violence again. He says, one guy, that's it. I stopped. I killed once. First-person narratives about genocide are complex. Experts say there can be a tendency among perpetrators to minimize their role, sometimes in the hope of a shorter sentence, sometimes because the trauma of the genocide alters a perpetrator's memory.
And I'm not saying I'm not a killer. I'm not saying I didn't participate in a genocide. I did. I did, and I committed genocide. Why? Because when this group of people went to kill this gentleman, I went with them, which means to go with them becomes already genocidaire.
A genocidaire, a term for someone who perpetrated a genocide. Perpetrators like Kayinamura were tried in community-based courts that sprung up quickly. The accused were judged by their neighbors. The proceedings relied on eyewitness narratives of fast-moving violent incidents. These gacaca courts tried criminals, but also promoted interpersonal forgiveness and reconciliation.
And the first thing they said in the gacaca court, it was to say, if someone agrees, if someone says yes, and ask for forgiveness, and they get out of the prison. That's why I said they are good.
How do you see yourself today? When you think about your identity, when you look in the mirror, do you see yourself as a genocidaire? Do you see yourself as a killer?
I consider myself as someone who committed genocide. So I don't consider myself as a genocide survivor. I don't consider myself as a Tutsi. I consider myself as a genocidaire. And this is my big challenge. My identity is a genocidaire.
Rochelle has a different identity, mother. She's raising 5 children and sees a clear future for herself.
The fact that I have children gives me the confidence to rebuild my life. How can I put it? My children have allowed me to start over.
And that new life includes learning how to live in a community with people who 30 years ago could have wanted her dead. I ask her if she feels comfortable living here, and she gestures just outside the door. The man walking outside, she says, is a Hutu, and she doesn't feel afraid.
30 years after genocide, things are pretty good. People live together peacefully. There's no more Hutu, no more Tutsi. We are all Rwandan.
They're all Rwandan, all now living under the shadow of a brutal, violent history that pitted neighbor against neighbor. The people who served the longest sentences for their roles in the genocide are just returning home. And the work of learning to live side by side continues.
Talk to 3 young Rwandans about the country's future and their own.
So you have to show potential and just go for it, actually.